Let me see what I can see here. All right, was it the Blizzard CFO stepping down? Let me just take a look at that real quick. Blizzard CFO steps down. Let me see if I can find it here. Exclusive: Netflix poaches CFO from Activision Blizzard. Oh. Well, look at this. This isn't anything crazy. Let me turn this down a little bit more so I can talk here. Netflix is expected to announce in the next few days that it poached the media finance veteran Spencer Newman. He's a new man. A new company too, Activision Blizzard, to be its chief financial officer. Activision, in its regulatory filing, said that it intended to terminate Newman for a cause unrelated to the company's financial reporting or disclosure controls and procedures. It is said that Newman has been placed on paid leave. Keep ad blocker on. Of course I'm going to keep ad blocker on. What does it say? According to filing, by effective Tuesday, company's officer will take on the responsibilities. Wait, what? He got $9 million? No, never mind. Yeah, never mind. It's too much. Okay, let's see here. Company declined to comment. Not a surprise. Yeah, that's too much. Never mind, guys. Listen. So, you know what we can draw from that? Nothing. We can draw nothing. I think this is an example of something bad happening at Blizzard, or something that can seem like a chaotic like restructuring or change at Blizzard that people take and they make it out to be like, oh, well, Blizzard is falling apart because they don't know what's going on. Who knows why they fired this guy? I have no idea. Netflix is a pretty big company, and so I would assume, like, because Netflix, like, they've fired people for some kind of, like, politically correct reasons in the past, right? I think there was, like, some director or something that got fired for something he said in, like, a closed meeting. And I think Netflix does do a pretty good job at trying to maintain, like, a positive, like, public image. So I think that would kind of rule out the whole idea of this guy being fired because he did something that was politically incorrect at Blizzard, right? Or at least, like, it would rule that out to me. That being said, I don't know really what it is that this guy did. I have no idea. Maybe he was, like, I don't know why they would fire him. Maybe he just didn't get along with somebody. Who the fuck knows? And I don't think there's any way that we can know. Obviously, it does seem like Blizzard doesn't really know what's going on, but I don't know how high up the ladder that goes. Maybe the guys that are in charge know exactly what's going on, and that's why they're making phone games. But, you know, I don't know. I have no idea, man. Have you ever played Pokemon? Yeah, I have. I mean, who hasn't, man? Dark Souls. Well, Dark Souls is going to be really soon, man. That's going to be it. So I think some people might be thinking, they're like, oh, well, this guy was fighting a good fight for Blizzard, and, you know, they fired him because he didn't want to, you know, make the company have a bunch of microtransactions or something like that. I think that's kind of like the subconscious narrative that people are trying to draw, or a comparison people are trying to draw with this conversation. I don't think that's necessarily true. And, I wouldn't believe that until I saw some pretty solid proof. I don't really understand entirely what a CFO's responsibilities are in a company, and how much they actually have, like, oversight in terms of how the company, like, conducts its day-to-day business. So I can't really make a comment on that at all. But the only thing that I'm going to say is, obviously at Blizzard, it does seem like a lot of the things that they're doing seem to be ill-advised and potentially also ill-informed. And I don't know if that's ever going to change. At this point in time, I would actually say it's probably not going to change, because it's just so, I guess, like, so ingrained in the culture, and after a certain period of time, you just have so many people that are part of the company that were not really part of the time whenever it was successful for whatever reason, that it's really hard to, like, reclaim that former glory. And you can even see that in, like, WoW guilds, where you have, like, guilds that used to be really good, and they bring back a few people, but there's not enough people to, like, bring back that same hardcore atmosphere that the guild really needed to, like, take it to, you know, world top 10 or wherever it was in the past. What can you possibly still need from me to build? Just random items. A second here. Control here. Blizzard can only lose to themselves. Well, I think that's the frustrating thing. I think everybody in here is in a pretty good, to a pretty good degree, like, probably, at least, like, I don't know, like, was at one point or another a Blizzard fanboy. You know, Blizzard has always been like the company that it's been like the gold standard for gaming. At least it has been in my mind. A lot of people have really enjoyed the games that they've made, and at least maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I think a lot of other people, especially people that watch my stream, right? Because it's like, you know, mostly a WoW stream, or it was. You know, people would feel that way, and it's disappointing to see things that, you know, you care a lot about seem to lose their way. And I think that's really why so many people feel disconnected from Blizzard, and they're really upset about it, is that they're upset about it on like a more emotional level, right? And they feel like they've been kind of betrayed. And you look at Blizzard, and one thing that really separates Blizzard from a company like Activision, a company like EA, a company like Bethesda even, that has a much better, or at least up until Fallout 76, a much better public image, is Blizzard literally has a convention every year, well, except for like 1 year, right? But basically every year, BlizzCon, where people come from all around the world to share their love for a company that makes games that they enjoy. And that's something that's very unique about Blizzard. So even if you might not necessarily feel that way yourself, you can see how other people would. And I think that's why people's frustrations with Blizzards is so acute, is because they don't get that same feeling from other game companies. And it felt a lot different. That's why. Watch Monster Hunter gameplay. Yeah, you don't have to say it anymore, man. You said it like 50 times. Even if he is fired, it doesn't change anything. The head of the company will be different, but the brain will remain the same. Well, it's hard really to say about that, man. We'll have to see. Hey, Asmongold, I have a few pets for you. Don't currently have. Swing by the auction house and trade district, and I'll be waiting for your PSQ up the streams. Okay, man, but it's got to be quick. I want to start Dark Souls really soon, okay? Just a second. Let me read the rest of these, though. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Blizzard have already hired M. Night Shyamalan to direct their war because it makes no fucking sense and thinks it's clever. Well, how could they direct M. Night Shyamalan whenever they've already directed, or why would they hire him whenever they've already hired all the people that write fan fiction from DeviantArt? Like, I mean, I don't know why they'd need M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, at least with M. Night Shyamalan, like, The Village was kind of good. Everybody can kind of agree Sixth Sense was a good movie, right? I mean, you have something like WoD, or something like Legion's Story, and it's just like, there's no, like, where is it good? It's not good at all. I mean, at least with M. Night Shyamalan, there are a couple of mistakes, you know, that he's made that ended up being a great video, right? The Village, good. It was a good video. Sixth Sense was dumb as hell. Well, I mean, like, the thing is that a lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people really like that movie. If you don't like it, that's fine, but a lot of people do. Just a second, let me look at the rest of these, okay? I like The Village. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, too. Just a second here. Why are you skipping Dark Souls 2? Thanks for being awesome. People said they liked watching Dark Souls 3 more, so I chose to play that first. What do you think about YouTube letting the Fat Rat song be copyright claimed? I'm not interested in being involved in that. Thanks for the $5. Appreciate it. I don't know anything about that. I don't want to make a comment. You said you don't want to watch things that people make, but what's the difference when somebody says, hey, check out this thing that I found? Is that not also promotion? Most of the people that do that usually use the same name, and then also it's a very good... It's easy for me to tell, right? Because most of the time we're going to be consuming content from very well-known content creators, and, you know, maybe they could be like self-advertising in my channel, but the odds are that usually most of the people that are doing things like that are small content creators that were like, hey man, I saw this really good Reddit post that didn't get a lot of attention, thought you might want to take a look at it, and the guy's name is, you know, Billy Boy Mage Time, and I go and I look at the title of the fucking, or the name of the person who made the Reddit post, it's Billy Boy Mage Time again. You know, like, it's kind of obvious to me. But obviously there are some of them that get by. And any tool that you have, any rule that you have, anything that you do is never always going to work. You just usually want to go with things that usually work. And that's what's smart to do. No point trying to make everything work always. I used to fucking jam out to this song. I used to love this fucking song. Let me read the rest of this. I think I got everybody else. Thank you guys for all the fucking resubs. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it a lot. I can take jokes and hate. It's fine. Not everyone sees the same things, but if you've got any years, it's a bad idea. Do you really hate anyone who might be a furry? All right, I'll give my honest opinion. I'll give my honest opinion about furries. I think it's really weird. Like, I really think being a furry is weird. And I think that, like, I don't think being a furry is necessarily being into having sex with animals, but I can see why obviously there's, you know, there's that understanding. I'm not a furry. I think people should be able to do what they want And if two weirdos want to get on fursuits and sweat it the fuck up in their mom's basement and through conveniently placed holes, fuck each other through the fursuits, or sorry, yiff each other through the fursuits. Yes, I know the terminology. Look, I mean, it's not what you think it is. I'm fine with it. It's okay. Like, I mean, I don't want to tell other people what they can and can't do. It's two consenting adults. Now, if some dude's gonna actually, like, go capture a dog and gonna go fuck a dog, yeah, you know, like, maybe that's not as good. But for me, I mean, like, I don't care. Like, why would it matter to me? As long as they're happy, then, and they're not hurting anyone else, that's fine. I don't think that they also should, like, I see some things, I've seen this before, where it's very borderline between, like, people that are furries, where it could very easily be seen as them trying to appeal to, like, a young audience. And I think that's really inappropriate. And I think that should be stopped and shut down immediately, because it's just, you know, it's ultimately it's a sexual fetish. And I'd feel the same way if people were talking about, like, having, you know, like, BDSM stuff be in, like, kids' movies, or try to, like, use some sort of kids' thing to push a fetish or something like that. I've heard about situations like that, and I'm not a fan of that either. But as long as people are doing it in places that are, you know, adult-friendly, I don't see the problem with being a furry. It doesn't bother me at all.